Hey everyone, Dave here. Welcome to our first raid video. So I recently got my Ramantu. I haven't even built him yet, and I figured out that most of us need some help with planning for the Ramantu missions. Because even if your account, your roster, and your gear is good enough to go through all the missions and Doom Tower hard and eventually get Ramantu, but still the missions are too much to plan for. And if you miss a mission that's Doom Tower hard related, you might have to wait a month for the next rotation so that you're able to do it. So I thought let's talk about it in a series of videos and figure out how I can help you plan for these missions hopefully and get your Ramantu faster. So first things first, where to get those missions? Of course, if you haven't finished the missions yet, you can get this in the game itself. You just find the missions here. Because I've finished the missions, I don't have them in game, but you can easily go to Hill Hades' website. He got a list of all of the advanced missions there. So this is a full list of the missions. You go through them, and it's easier maybe to navigate than the game, but we'll talk about them in details. Basically, there are 6 main areas that the missions ask you to do. First area is beating Nightmare Campaign, 3-starring all of it. This is probably the easiest of them all, except maybe 12.7. There are videos out about it, and we'll talk about in a separate video as well. So first thing is Nightmare Campaign, easiest, you'll finish this first. Second part is Faction Wars. So probably if you're going for Ramantu, you have Lydia, or you're very close to getting Lydia, and you'll need her for Doom Tower Hard. It just makes life easy if you have Lydia there. So, Nightmare missions are retroactive. If you already finished 3-star Nightmare campaign, you don't have to redo it. Faction War missions are not. So you'll have to wait till that specific faction is open and do whatever boss levels that the mission asks you to do. Whether it's 14 or 21 or whatever, you have to beat the stage, not 3-star it. So if you move gear around and you can beat the stage but with 1 or 2 champs dying in the process, that's totally fine. It's just important that you beat the stage. 21 of all of them eventually, except Shadowkin. Shadowkin is not there in the missions. So Faction War is a 1-week cycle, so it's not too bad if you have to wait for a couple of days till that specific faction opens. And basically, like I said, those 2 areas are the easiest. Then we're going through Doom Tower. Eventually, the last missions, you have to beat all of Doom Tower hard on any rotation. You just have to beat all the bosses all the way through the 120 level and all secret rooms. One of the very last missions will ask you to beat all secret rooms of Doom Tower hard on one of the rotations. So also Hill Hades got this on his website. So this is the list of the different secret rooms for each rotation. Everyone's roster is different, but what I figured out is that the rotation 1, the original one, got the easier, well, relatively easier secret rooms to beat. So if you're planning to beat all secret rooms in one rotation, probably this is the one for you. But still, you'll need to plan, which is basically what I've done. With your current roster or building a couple of specific champs, you need to beat like 6 to 8 secret rooms from the other rotations as well, because also one of the last missions is summoning Gomlock Sky Height from Fragments, which is the 3rd Lego from Doom Tower Hard. So you'll be doing this for a while. Just plan ahead of time and plan on doing all secret missions if you're like me, and we'll go through the secret rooms in Doom Tower in rotation 1 and the other ones once they are open, just to help you with champ suggestions and stuff. But basically, I'll do this rotation first, rotation 1 first. It's the one that's open now at the time of recording. And once the others are open, we'll go through them as well. So we had Nightmare Campaign, Faction Wars, and Doom Tower Hard with everything in it. Fourth group of missions is the ones related to events and tournaments. Those ones are not too hard. It's just asking you to get, well, they just take a bit of time. It's asking you to get like 10k, 20k, and then I think that the maximum one is 30k points in tournaments or events, depending on the mission. So you just get to this one, probably if you are at a fusion, you're doing a few tournaments or events anyways, takes you a week or so and you get through this. So that's not an issue at all. So that's the fourth group of missions there. Fifth one, everybody's least favorite 3v3 arena. Now it's getting much harder to go through 3v3 because everybody's pushing for missions. Usually I'm in gold one. This is Monday. I'm recording this on a Monday, so don't get fooled by me being that high up. We'll dedicate some videos to 3v3 planning because you'll have to climb week over week. You can climb only one rank per week till you eventually get. Let's refresh this while we are at it. Maybe. Oh, okay, that's good. Let's do this in the background. So you need to get to gold one, and you just need to get to it. This is not retroactive. So you have to be in gold one when the mission comes. Take your time, climb slowly. The good news and the bad news is that going through the tiers, the teams don't get much more difficult. Well, maybe just a little bit, but not that much. So unfortunately, you'll have to fight the same difficulty of teams climbing up slowly. It's a grind, but it can be done. Again, your roster and your gear need to be good enough so that you can climb that high. So 3v3, we'll talk about it. The last group, the sixth group and the last group of missions is the ones that I kept it last because I want you to keep this in mind. It asks you to use a certain amount of glyphs to get max substats. Well, first it doesn't ask you to get max substats, but then it does. So you need to get the max substats on 10, 20, 30, 40, and then the last mission would be 50 pieces of gear. Well, substats. So that takes loads and loads of glyphs. So start saving your glyphs today. Gear your champs, use whatever glyphs you need, but make sure to save all the flat stats ones. Nobody cares about this mostly, but save as many as you can. You will need them, specifically when you get to the max substats. When it's asking you to do just like 20 glyphs or whatever, use the 1 star, 2 star ones. But when you get to the max substats, you'll have to use your 4 and 5 star ones and probably 6 stars as well. Use as many flat stats as possible. Those are easy and you'll pile up a lot of them without using them. Just save as many as you can. The second resource that you need to save is Forged Charms. It will ask you to forge a specific type. Usually it doesn't ask you to forge a specific set, but it will ask you to use a specific charm, whether it's strength, rarity, or defense percent, or HP percent, or whatever. And then in some of the missions to ask you to forge like 20 epic boots or something like this. So if you don't have enough of these charms saved up, it will hold you back. When I got to the charms missions and the glyphs missions, sometimes I needed to wait for like a couple of weeks till I saved those back, because both of these, the glyphs and the charms, are limited resources. You cannot farm them if you want. You just get a limited amount from dailies and from Doom Tower. So you just need to save as many of these as possible. Start saving these today. You will need them for the missions. If you get one thing out of this planning video, is save your glyphs and charms, basically. I'll wrap up the video at this point because I don't want to go into a specific area right now, but what I want to take you through, just so that we played some raid during the video, is Nightmare Campaign. I'll just go through stage. This should be easy. If you cannot two-man Nightmare Campaign, 3-star it with 2 champs, then probably your gear is not at the level required for Doom Tower Hard, and you'll find a lot of difficulty getting to Ramantu towards the last missions. For that specific, for stage 1 of Nightmare Campaign, it's mostly magic and spirit champs, so you can do it with Seal of the Drakes, Drixar, Arbiter. You probably have Arbiters by now, and any nuker. Basically, if you can solo it, that's fine. If you want to two-man it, choose a healer or reviver. Probably for that stage 1, you want a magic or a spirit champ. Well, I think actually any affinity would work because it has magic and spirit, so it's mostly neutral and it's not that strong. It's just a little bit stronger than brutal. So you can, like you see here, my style is just soloing it. And one of the things about Nightmare Campaign, you have to do every stage in less than 10 minutes, otherwise it doesn't count, which make a difference when we get to 12/7. Well, if your gear is not at that level yet. But you'll see here, like, I soloed the stage with Sale of the Drakes. I'm soloing this stage with Drixar, though he's negative affinity. And I'm using Cell and Drixar because probably everybody has them by now. So yeah, Drixar maybe is taking a bit of time because of the negative affinity, but eventually he'll get there. And I can solo it because the gear level on Sail and Drixar, I'll show it to you before I end the video, is Doom Tower hard level. You don't have to be at that level of gear, at least not for this part. You can two-man it with any other champ. But when we talk about Doom Tower hard floors and bosses, you'll need that level of gear for this. So you can do it, no issues there. Let's try, last thing I'll try, let's try Arbiter with maybe like Astralon. He was, well, people started not to have Ninja now, but Astralon was a fusion. But basically any nuker. So Astralon is quite squishy there. But of course Arbiter is protecting him and should revive him if he dies. But then again, I'm just showing that it's easy to do. And probably in next videos, we'll do the next stages, just going through affinities, which champs to use and such. But any defense-based champ in lifesteal can go through all of Nightmare Campaign. Like, probably a lot of people are doing it with Tyrell. If you have Tyrell or any defense-based champ in lifesteal that hits hard, can go through it with no issue at all. Can even solo it, except for 12/7 where you have to use Paragon. Well, most people do unless you have like a very tanky Duchess or Sifi. But then again, the Block Revive might be an issue. Anyways, we'll go through that in a different video. As you see here, Nightmare Campaigns shouldn't be an issue if you have the right level of gear. And to do just like a mini champ showcase here. So this is my Drixar in lifesteal, and these stats are strong enough to go through whatever I need him to do on Doom Tower hard. Of course, these are not, well, these stats are good, they are not crazy good. You'll need that level if you want to go through the missions on Doom Tower hard. And this is my Sale of the Drakes. She got probably some of the best Relentless and Immortal pieces I have. And that's the stats on her. So I'll wrap up the video at this point. If you like the content, if you like planning your Ramantu missions with me, please like the video, subscribe to the channel to see the next videos, and start saving those glyphs and charms. I'll see you next time. Bye.